and need to get this car on wheels to get out of this garage.
What's up, boys?
Is I've got the trailing arm back in place. You know, we've already installed the hub and the wheel bearing. Now I've installed my upper FDF control arms. Originally I had these upside down, so make sure you install them like this. I believe this is the correct way. I am working on a confirmation email for that, but from what I can find, this is the way to do it, because whenever it's fully compressed, it wraps around the body better this way. If it was the other way, it hits quicker. So I've got that installed. I've installed the other side, the upper control arm. And then this is what I'm working on for my coilover. This is essentially a steel bar that I'm going to weld to this plate in the coilover tower, or the strut tower. And basically it's just gonna be solid. But this is the easiest way for me to get this car back on wheels. So I basically cut a piece of tubing to about 26 inches. I drilled a hole to put the coilover bolt through so it's in its place. I will put this, I'm either gonna weld this straight to that flat bar, or I'm going to weld 2 tabs on here with a bolt through it, and then weld the tabs to this piece. So more to come on that. I am going to, I had to order the lower control arms, the FDF lower control arms. I thought I had already purchased them a while ago, but I couldn't find them, and then I couldn't find my history on purchasing them. So I talked to my boys at Drift HQ. John hooked me up, and we're gonna get those overnighted because I am on a time crunch and need to get this car on wheels to get out of this garage. So we'll get those installed. That will allow me to set camber and caster. So when I do put it on the wheels, you know, it's not gonna like snap one way or the other. Steel bar will keep it completely, you know, with no spring basically to it, no travel. But as long as it doesn't rub the fenders on the new wheels, you know, we can roll this. So that's the point. Okay guys, we're working on putting the trailing arms back on the car. I'm going to install my FDF lower control arms, or tower and camber adjustment arms. It's going to add some support to the trailing arm, because I don't want to put my coilovers in the car yet, since I'm just trying to get it on wheels to move it to my new house here in the next couple weeks. So I need to put these on to get some stability from the rear subframe to the trailing arm. I'll show you what we're working with. I've started to mount the trailing arm. I need to connect the lower and upper control arms to the subframe, just so I can try to get this with some support and then get my wheels on. I'll still have to put the wheel studs in yet, so that I can put the wheel on. All right, we got the upper control arm, lower control arm on, trailing arms in, hubs, bearings, my steel bar coilover. Had to drill a couple holes. I think this will work. If I need to, you know, raise and lower it for fitment with the tire, I'll just drill another hole, you know, if I need to shorten it. You can see I welded the bar in place, put it in the strut tower. This should hopefully work enough to get the wheel on so that I can roll the car onto a trailer and to the new house. And then I'll have to re-drop the subframe, take off all the arms and stuff, so that I can modify the subframe for the Ford rear end. So next I'm working on installing the wheel studs so that I can actually put the wheel on the car. We are going to torque these down. I'm going to look at the specs. All right, I'm excited. This first time I'm getting to use this torque wrench. It's a gear wrench, 3/8 torque wrench, and it's still pretty, and I'm excited to use it. I've got some of our wheel studs. These are Garagistic wheel studs. And we got some Permatex blue Loctite that we're going to use on these. Okay, you got that Loctite? Which one are we doing? This one?
Yep.
Okay, get ready to turn it in. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to use the end here. You can get that in there. Okay, good. Okay, let's try to tighten this. Okay guys, I'm working on installing the wheel studs, and you got to go in a star pattern to tighten them. Start here to here, 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 and here. Because you don't just want to go in a circle, then you could get it off center. I'm going to go in a star pattern. And then Garagistic says to go 27 to 32 foot-pounds of torque. I'm going 16, 16, 16, 16, 16, and then we'll go another round getting it up to 30, so that we're equally distributing, you know, the torque spec on all these studs and going in a star method. Garagistic, which is who I bought these studs from, they said go to 27 to 32 foot-pounds of torque. And then on the wheel nuts, like the lug nuts, you'll go roughly 80 wheel torque. I'm sorry, the torque spec. So I'm going to double check that, but from what I've briefly seen, it is 27 to 32 foot-pounds of torque on the wheel studs, and then roughly 80 foot-pounds of wheel torque on the lug nuts. I also want to correct myself. Use red Loctite, not blue. Blue might be all right, but from what I did look up the information, use red Loctite. I think I said blue earlier, and I wanted to double check that. I did, so always double check your work. But use red Loctite, not blue, on your wheel studs.